I've got a number of small activities going on, nothing major. I've got my wife and I have a small rental property business, and we also have a small equipment rental business. Those are keeping me busy on the business front. I do a little consulting in between, and I continue to do the writing that I've been doing since probably the early 70s. You know, I can't point to any one defining event where I had the aha moment that I could run out and say, this is what I'm going to do, or I found myself. But I can say, and this is from the heart, that the campus when I was there, and I think is still the case, had enough of an offering that I could explore topics of interest and potential careers of interest to me that I probably wouldn't have had access to otherwise in a smaller setting. And so I'm very thankful for that opportunity. And through that, I found a number of passions, and I've been able in my life to be able to pursue most of them. I would say my life's work is less, in my mind, defined by a career or a task than it is kind of a motto of being an agent of change. And so in that regard, I think in the career choices I've made when I first got into finance and banking, then was fortunate to be picked up by the Andersons, I've always gravitated toward opportunities that required some growth in the particular asset, an office, or some challenge that needed to be undertaken. And I enjoyed that, and I thrived in bringing solutions and coming up with positive outcomes in those situations. And the same kind of carries over to my volunteer work and into my writing. Well, it's kind of very humbling for me. I'm not sure I really am the stellar representative of the university or even of the college. I think about the great medical college we have. I'm a College of Arts and Science undergrad and master's in English. But the people who have been really impactful from the university are, I think about the doctors that come out and work in ER rooms, and they're really touching lives and changing lives. So I think my overall accomplishments are relatively modest in the scheme of the world. I think I've been able to make some positive impact in every stop along the way, and I think that's, for me, that's all I could ask. There's a couple. One is in my stint in the first two financial organizations I was with, and then moving on to Anderson's. There was both opportunities to grow the assets I was managing, or to assist in those kind of things. And there were problems that I was given opportunities to help others resolve. And I can remember one particular situation where the received wisdom is, your first loss is your best loss, and could have easily liquidated a certain enterprise. And there was a young man who stepped forward who was the son of the person who had been running it. And this young man just had a certain spark and a certain commitment to turning things around. And against all the rules of, first loss is best loss and all that, he and I worked out a business plan. And over time, in fact, I moved on to the Andersons, and he was still working on it. And 2 years into my career at Andersons, I got a call at 8 o'clock at night when we were still in Swanton, and he called and said, "Hey, this is so-and-so, and I want you to know we've achieved all the goals." And I thought that was so cool that he managed to say, this was a family farm he'd managed to take from the brink, brought it back, turned it around with a tremendous amount of effort. And that's kind of what, listening to him and giving him that chance, I think, for me, that was the most meaningful thing. There's always conversations we had, when you're in the English department, there's always folks I enjoy talking to. I think I played, probably too much cards in the old beer hall, wherever it was down there. Might have played pool down there in the pool hall. So it was a friendly place. It wasn't just a commuter destination. I lived here in town, but I did feel like that I connected with the community there, as opposed to just, making it a journey in and a journey out every day. there were a couple folks when I was, I guess I'd say my end of my freshman year, beginning of my sophomore year. I had continued to explore this fascination I had with creative writing, and had gotten far enough along in engineering. I was actually on a sciences track, physics track, that I realized I really wasn't all that turned on about the potential careers there, i.e. designing a better light bulb, that kind of a thing, engineering. And by the way, engineering is very challenging. I don't mean to say that it's not important work. It's much more important than creative writing, probably. But I was personally motivated more by the creative writing side. And wasn't all that interested in literature, but that was about the only path available back in the early 70s. There were some creative writing programs, but not the proliferation there is today. So a couple of the faculty members worked with me, and Wally Martin, who was a professor there in English, could talk contemporary poetry, that kind of thing. Kind of, would read my stuff and give me feedback and give me a little encouragement, and that was really positive for me. So I'm just a person who did a stint in finance and do a little writing. So I don't have great pearls of wisdom to give, but I do think the university is a platform where you can, in fulfilling your electives, if you're strategic about that, it can give you the opportunity to explore mental or areas of interest that you may or may not have. So instead of just checking a box for an elective, if you have to take something, try to be purposeful and either stretch yourself or get out of your comfort zone. Take things that you have no knowledge about, maybe. I remember one of the most impactful courses that I ended up stumbling into, and I think literally it was one I felt I was being forced to take, was a music appreciation course. Took that, walked out of that, and suddenly I liked Mahler and Bruckner, and I began, liking the Rolling Stones. So I mean, I still like the Rolling Stones, but I mean, it really broadened my horizons. That was just one little course. So there's a lot there that if you're open and you take the chance to hear what's being put in front of you, can be very impactful. Well, hopefully, someone with the vitality and energy and willing to kind of dive into whatever's in front of me, whether it's a great opportunity or a great problem, someone who tries to move forward whenever possible.